Hi, hello there. I'm Ricky Neal, and thank you so much for joining me today. Um, I am going to try and share my screen so you can see this presentation, and we'll do a quick session today on Fetch Ireland. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing what I'm seeing. This is our first go at a LinkedIn Live, so please be kind. So thank you so much for taking 15 minutes out of your day to join us here at Fetch Ireland. I'm joined by my colleague Kerry Ann, and I'll introduce Kerry Ann in a 10 minutes at the end of this session, and she's here for any questions. Kerry Ann is our Fetch Community Manager. So, our new service is all about delivering results faster and smarter. So, without further ado, I'm just going to get right into this presentation. It literally will be 10 minutes, and we have time for questions at the end, but pop in any questions into the chat boxes. And I'm hoping we will be able to see these. We are on StreamYard, we're not on LinkedIn, so it's a slightly different format. Anyway, we'll keep going. So, how would it feel to have access to 150,000 of your target audience just before Christmas? To connect with this audience using original and authentic content, to get 50 pieces of new social media content that you can repurpose on your channels, and to receive reporting in just 1 month. So from activation, in 4 weeks, you'll have a completed report. And you can achieve all of this by sending just one package of your products to our office. It does sound a little bit too good to be true, eh? Well, I thought that too, but not anymore. So the solution that we have built is called Fetch Ireland. And thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Ricky Neal. I'm the founder of RNN Communications, and I would like to introduce you to Fetch Ireland. It's a unique micro-influencer platform that connects brands just like yours with Northern Ireland and Ireland's vibrant influencer community. So before we get started, I just wanted to cover off what is a micro-influencer. Well, if you Google it, you'll find different answers varying from 3,000 right up to 100,000. But here in Northern Ireland and in Ireland, really a micro influencer would be deemed around 5,000 of a following upwards. If you're above 30,000, you'll be commanding fees. So we would no longer deem you a micro influencer. So for our Fetch platform, we are talking about an audience of Fetch influencers that are around the 5,000 mark up to around 25,000. The big win on micro influencers is that they're believed to be more authentic and trusted, and quite often they have niches and specialisms. They don't deliver as much commercial content, therefore, content can really stand out. The branded content has a lot of cut through. And also, the big win on the micro influencer community is that their engagement rates are around 3 times more than those of a macro influencer. So, I wanted to take you back to 1 year ago. So 1 year ago, we were working with a client of ours, the Now Group, who have Loaf Pottery. The Now Group also have lots of hospitality, beautiful cafes. And this time, 1 year ago, it's hard to believe, but we were entering another lockdown. So many of the avenues of revenue were closed, including the cafes and the hospitality outlets. But they had a lovely, lovely business called Loaf Pottery that was available to purchase online, so an e-commerce business. So with limited marketing spend, the pressure was on for us to deliver pottery sales. So there's no big budgets for large micro influencer campaigns or for digital advertising. So we sought to get these beautiful mugs in the hands of influencers during the festive period. So people who would connect with this product and want to showcase it to their audience. So from the initial research, approaching micro influencers, seeing who would be interested in this product, getting their agreement, then addresses, packaging, following up, reporting. That whole campaign took around 10 days. But it worked. Sales increased by 300%. And for us, that was the big win. We didn't actually at that point care how long this took. We just wanted to do an amazing job. But moving forward on the agency side, it really showcased to us how long this process can take. And, a lot of time equals a lot of over servicing. So we wanted to do a better job in a shorter time frame. And from the client side, Consultancy fees, shouldn't really be going for packaging parcels and also some of those more basic tasks. So there must be a better way. And this got me thinking about it. I was going to find that better way. So I searched, I looked for platforms. The team here looked for platforms. We couldn't find one that would be suitable for our clients in this sector. But then I discovered Fetch Social. Okay, so that's just a little video on Fetch Ireland. And really 1 year ago, almost today, we began talks with a company called We Are Pure. So they're a luxury PR company in Belgium. They had built Fetch Social, and I wanted to bring Fetch Social to Ireland. And when we started to speak to We Are Pure about what they had built in their platform, they were working with brands including Primark and Disney and Other Stories and many more. And the proof was in the pudding for me in that these brands weren't engaging once with Fetch, they were engaging in multiple campaigns and had been over a period of 3 to 4 years. It was working for them, which is why they continued to book. For us, I was excited to use this platform. I wanted to bring it to Ireland. I wanted to use it in our agency. And we were very excited to see what we could do with it. Could we build Northern Ireland and Ireland's biggest micro influencer community that would give that tactic a structure? So we did. So we acquired the rights to Fetch in August, the rights for the UK and Ireland, and we are building the biggest micro influencer community on this island. We already have 200 people signed up. That's just in 8 weeks. And our Fetch community is growing every single day. Like everything, like a spaceship, it takes a lot of effort to get it up. But once it gets up, it becomes much easier. So we're getting requests every day from new influencers to join the platform. So 1 year later, do you remember we talked about Loaf Pottery? So we've just completed another campaign for Loaf with Fetch Ireland. And this took us a total of 1 day. So we sent out 20 of their beautiful mugs. It reached a combined audience of 130,000. There was 35 pieces of unique content that they could repopulate on their social channels. So 10 days 1 year ago to 1 day with no impact on results. That's what Fetch can do for you and your brand. And best of all we need from you is one package with 20 of your products. That's it. Simple as that. You then get a report showing you the delivery and the results afterwards. Okay, so this is just some of the other content that we delivered for Loaf Pottery over the coming weeks. It was over the last few weeks. It was one of our first campaigns, and some of the content was just beautiful. So in just 2 months, we have worked with disruptive and innovative brands who aren't afraid to try something new. Tanning brands, skincare ranges, homewares, food and drink companies. Those early adopters who are willing to take the chance on something new. And many of these clients have booked future campaigns, and that makes me very happy. So from that initial conversation and with our Belgian partners, when I was excited by what Fetch can do, it is starting to become a reality. The investment is quite minimal, so it's not a big risk for brands. It's certainly less than a DPS in any glossy magazine, and it's about a quarter of what you would pay for a macro influencer campaign of the same audience. So Fetch delivers the brand right into the hands of your audience at a time when they're scrolling. And I have to put my hands up. I'm scrolling now too, more than ever before. So we have some slots open for Christmas. We don't have actually so many left, which is great news, but we do have some openings. And this is really for brands who, obviously it's a gifting period, it's a key selling time. So for anyone who wants to maximize their Christmas sales or add an extra dimension to their marketing efforts. We are closing up the slots next week. And really this is all due to us wanting to ensure in the early days of this platform that everything is seamless. So we want to deliver the very best service and make sure it works for every early client that we have. So almost there. Fetch is growing. I am very, very grateful to you for taking the time out. If you're watching this on replay, I'm also glad that you have got to this point and watched this far in. So this is all our new offering, Fetch Ireland, and I hope I have explained how it could work for you and your brand. So now I'm going to introduce Kerry-Ann McElroy. Kerry-Ann is our community manager at Fetch. Her job is to manage a lot of the processes of this and also to liaise with our community of Fetch influencers. So Kerry-Ann is going to help me and answer some questions. So now I'm going to stop sharing. So bear with me. I'm going to stop sharing, hopefully. And then I am going to bring Kerry-Ann into this conversation. So Kerry-Ann, you're
Hello.
here. Good.
I'm here.
So far, so good. Great. Okay, so I think we will start with a few questions, and thankfully they have just popped up on the right-hand side, which is very handy. Okay, so we've got a quick question, Kerry-Ann from Nadine. And Nadine Savage is asking, is Fetch focused on specific businesses or industry sectors?
Yes, it can be. It works there's a few industries it works very well for, such as beauty, skincare, stuff like that. But it can be adapted and it can work for quite a lot of things. The only thing at the moment we wouldn't be looking at is sort of like, not like perishable food, because at the moment it can't be sent out and left for,
Yeah, okay. I understand. Yeah, chilled. We're not there yet. That's a work in progress. So basically, if you have a product that can easily be posted within a 24-hour time period, it will work for you. We have a quick question here from Jordan, who's asking, is it possible that we can ask Fetch influencers to include hashtags and swipe up links?
Yes, we can. Any hashtags that you want used in your campaign, you would add them to the campaign brief, and then that is passed on to the influencers and they will use those hashtags in their content. Swipe up links, yes, if they have over 10,000 followers, they can do the pull up ones. But Instagram has also introduced to let anyone have a sticker tap link, which is great for us. So you can basically ask anyone to do the link to someone now, which is great.
Okay, super. Oh, here's Pamela from Special Olympics. Hello, Pamela. Nice to see you. Yes, I'll chat to you soon. And then Sinead. Oh, I know Sinead well. So Sinead has an amazing app called Informed Minds, which is a digital health solution. So Sinead is asking here, can Fetch work for a digital product? For example, her app. We've actually had, I'll maybe take this one, Kerry-Ann, because I've been having a few discussions with some companies that are looking at different ways of using Fetch Ireland to communicate with their audiences. So for some briefs, it will take a little bit more of an understanding of what the product is and how we could utilize all of these influencers to get involved with that product. So something like an app, for instance, I would be thinking we would give them access to an early release. Yep. Or we would give them a period of time where they could use the app FOC and talk about their experiences on it. So absolutely. So it's quite simple whenever you talk about a product like a tanning brand, we get that into the hands of the people. They show us how they're using it. But when it's something like an app or financial services, or I've had some very weird and wonderful discussions recently, there's always a way around things. We can make it work. Okay. Yeah. So Kerry-Ann, I probably just have a few last questions for you that I'm going to pull up. So what if a brand books campaign, what is it we need from that brand?
All we need from a brand is a short campaign brief, just sort of key messages, like we said before, any hashtags that they want us to use, etc. Some product images or service images, and then also one box of either 10 to 30 products sent straight to us. That's all we need.
Okay. And I know that I've certainly had a few calls from different brands, especially, I guess, in Ireland, where they're already running large campaigns ahead of Christmas. So their ask to me is, what if they're already doing influencer marketing paid campaigns? Would Fetch be applicable?
Yes, I think that Fetch would be great to work alongside any campaigns they're running. I think it would complement them well. Obviously, if you're running a paid campaign, you're targeting the macro influencers, then this one you could you target the micro alongside. It can work really well. We can also ensure that you're not, we're not sending products to people you're already working out with. We can ensure that doesn't happen.
Okay. And that actually moves me into the next question quite seamlessly, in that we have been asked, can brands view the influencers that they're engaging with? Can they choose out of the 200 who they work with?
Currently, we choose who they work with, but we choose that based on the campaign brief, what they have told us the main key messages around the products are, and we will match them up with our influencers who we think match those. Whenever they sign up, we decide, pick out what their specialisms are, their niches. So we have all that information that we can then make a great match and meet the people that the brand are hoping to reach.
Yeah. So ultimately, Fetch Ireland is much more of a PR approach, where we're presenting the products in a digital showroom, and our audience is putting their hand up to say they want it. And once we have that pool of people who've put their hands up, we then ensure that they are well matched to the brief. But also for those brands that engage with Fetch Ireland, they of course see all of the content. They're going to be tagged in it. They can repurpose it. So they will ultimately have this list of influencers as the campaign goes live, and also within the reporting.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a question. Does a micro influencer perform better? I'm going to start that. Carry on. Yeah, I know I'm butting in. We are not saying Fetch Ireland is a marketing solution. It is a tactic within a toolbox of other activity, of a huge vast array of activity that you can do in marketing. So if you work with a macro influencer, this is a complementary. Or if you want to dip your toe in the water and start to see how influencers engage with your product, it's a nice entry point. So over to you, Carrie-Anne. Is there anything?
Yes to everything you said. It's definitely sort of part of your marketing mix. It's not going to be the entire solution, but we think it's different because it reaches the micro influencers who sort of are being focused on more now, because their engagement sometimes is a lot better than a macro influencer. Their followers are more committed to them. They're more engaged with their content. Like they would, for example, watch all their stories in one day. They would be messaging, and they just receive a higher rate of engagement, which we think means that the followers trust them more and are more likely to take their recommendations.
Okay. And I know certainly from even the past year and a half, when we've all been scrolling more and there's been a lot more digital activity, that we have been running some major influencer campaigns for brands with a very significant budgets. And I guess it's like everything, it's all about demand. So as the demand increases for online activity, so will the fees with larger influencers. They are delivering, but Fetch is another avenue into that area, into this online area that gives you audience and also content. And as an agency that runs over 30 social media content or social media channels in Ireland and also in Europe, content is king. It always has been.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. So last few questions, Carrie-Anne, and then we will both go and breathe with a sigh of relief after our questions. What results are we seeing at the minute? I know it's early days, but what have we seen for brands?
So our first campaign, which with a tanning brand, reached a potential audience of 100,000, and we've seen 2,000 interactions from that, which includes sort of likes, comments, replies, and the sticker tabs, the important sticker tabs, which is great. That was at the start, so we had a smaller pool of influencers. So we're just expecting to see these numbers go bigger and bigger when we get more, as we get more influencers, which we are.
Yeah, and I guess even from when we launched Fetch Ireland 2 short months ago, you know, with the changes to Instagram and the various platforms, there's even more capabilities for micro influencers that wouldn't have been available when we started this process. So, you know, by including things like discount codes, swipe up links, we can actually track for clients, you know, specific investment and return in terms of sales. So what the ROI is for every campaign. Obviously, that's much easier to do if it's an e-commerce brand. Yeah. Okay. This is the last question, Kerry-Ann. So, and I have certainly been asked this myself a few times. And I did ask this at the very start of this whole process when we were speaking to the founders of Fetch Social. So what if an influencer posts a negative review? How do we manage that?
So influencers, the way that Fetch works is that they have credits, and whenever they put their hand up for a product, as you were saying, we hold those credits until we get the insights and screenshots of their campaigns uploaded. So it wouldn't be their interest to get, if they want to get more products, is to put up a great campaign and upload their insights, and then we will get their credits back and they can get more things. So it's quite unlikely that they would ever, you know, do a negative review, because we would see that and they wouldn't be able to get their credits back. Saying that, if it ever did happen, we would obviously react to it quickly. We see all the content, come by and check it all, ensure we're on top of that all the time. So we would ensure that was taken down.
Okay. So for me, there's 3 check and balances on this. First is I asked the folks when we started these conversations, how many instances had this happened for them over a 4-year period and hundreds of campaigns, and they said 3. We also ourselves manage, as I say, multiple social media platforms. We are used to dealing with comments. And secondly, you know, we're experts in crisis management. So I don't think that this is a concern. It's not really in anyone's interest to post negative reviews. Okay, I think that's us. Thank you very much to everyone who is joining us. I have no idea how many people are on this, but anyway, I hope I've given you a little bit more information on Fetch Ireland. Kerry-Ann and I are both available for sure for any questions. You can drop us, you know, connect with us on LinkedIn or drop us an email. My email's pretty simple. It's just RIKI@rnncommunications.com. And so please do get in touch. So just to recap, our website, fetch-ireland.social, you'll see that snazzy little video in there and some other content. We're also on all social platforms, but at the moment our main focus is on Instagram, and that is our handle. So we would love to hear from you. I'm always open to chatting to people and trying to work out how Fetch Ireland would best suit their brand and how we could help your campaign. I have 20-year history in working with brands, so I'm sure we can be of some use to you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kerry-Ann. Hey, Kerry-Ann, we've done it. We'll see how you go. Okay, thank you to everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
How to end this now.